Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another single song reaction here on the channel. We have a new Breaking Benjamin song out there, and I heard about it I think like a week or so ago, and I've been planning to do a reaction to it forever, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And I was originally planning to have Chris Parker join me for this reaction, but I'm not actually too sure. I'm not exactly 100% sure what his feelings are on Breaking Benjamin. So I'm not too sure. I know for sure if you're a fan of this channel, if you follow this channel at all before in the past, you know that I have actually three people that do reactions with me. My cousin Cody, and we tend to focus on more classic albums and stuff like that, maybe stuff from the 80s, maybe a little earlier than that. And then I have Chris Parker, who I would say, a lot of my reactions with, who is a little bit more in terms of my taste of music. We kind of like the same things, but we definitely like our own unique things as well. But we have really good conversations about production, why we like music, things like that, and breaking down things and whatnot. And then I also do reactions with Chris Schoenberg, a second Chris, and he is a hardcore metal dude. And so I know if he was on a video with Breaking Benjamin, he would roll his eyes, he would wring his hands together, he would scoff the whole time, he'd flip his long metal hair back and be like, "It's not metal." And that's exactly what he would do. So I did not ask him to be on this reaction, but I don't know if I've ever actually talked to Chris Parker about Breaking Benjamin, to be honest. But we have a lot of stuff to record, and this was one of the things I wanted to do. I sent Chris Parker a message just earlier today. I know a lot of people probably don't care about this at all, but I'll make this brief. So the things I want to do reactions to, I just recorded myself reacting to the new The Rasmus single. I want to do Breaking Benjamin single, the new Dream Theater single, and then also there's a new Bloodywood single as well. And also, actually, now that I think about it, a new Night Flight Orchestra single as well. And actually, there's a new Avatarium single as well. So that's something to add to the list as well. But that's all interesting new songs that have come out from bands. And generally, I tend not to focus on singles. Mostly on the channel here, we react to full albums. But I've been finding it nice to just edit some short videos and upload those every now and then. And then if we get a lot of views, or which for our channel, a lot of views is like I would say over 300, maybe over 500 for sure. Like if we get over 500 views on this video, then I'll know for sure when Breaking Benjamin releases a new album eventually, then it would be good for us to react to that album, which I probably would do anyway, since I do like Breaking Benjamin. But I also have to listen to the new Frost album that just came out, the progressive rock, electronic pop, metal hybrid band Frost, which I adore. Their album Life in Wires, I think, double album, just was released last week, and I cannot believe I've gone a week without listening to it, but I've been waiting to do the reaction. So anyway, if this song is incredible and blows my mind, I may record a second reaction with Chris Parker, which we're going to record some stuff tomorrow. So I may have him do a reaction to this, but we'll see. I would whatever, let you know, or just scrap this all together or whatever. So it doesn't matter. But I am in a completely different location. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, I kind of explained that in the Rasmus video a little while ago that I recorded. But I just have my stuff set up. I'm totally oriented differently in the room that I normally record. So that's why you don't see the wall right behind me with all my stuff on it and my records on the wall and whatnot. But today, as of the day I'm recording this, is Halloween. And so I just thought I'd set this stuff up and record a video real quick, and just see how it worked and do some singles. And so this is my second video I'm recording. And so I just want to say very briefly, I have always enjoyed Breaking Benjamin. I don't think everything they've ever released is fantastic. I just was looking at their, here, let me throw this up here. I think you can see that now. So I'm looking at their Spotify here, and I was looking at their discography, and let's go by albums. So, okay, so the Breaking Benjamin albums that I own on CD are Saturate, We Are Not Alone, Phobia, Dear Agony, and Dark Before Dawn. I do not own Ember, which I think was their first album when they came back, which I do want to hear. I've never actually heard it. I've actually never listened to it at all, which is pretty crazy, but I just went under the radar for me. And then I've heard a couple things from Aurora, because this is their like acoustic version, I believe, that has a lot of every song. I think it looks like features multiple people and stuff. So this is sort of like, they have, like, my favorite Breaking Benjamin song by far is "So Cold." I think it is a masterpiece song. I was showing my nephew actually recently on the channel. I think that video got uploaded. But I showed my 13-year-old, who's 12-year-old at the time, I showed him the music video for that song. And it had been many years since I saw the music video. And I was shocked that some of my favorite parts of the song were cut out in the music video. And so I'm glad this is the 4.5-minute version, at least. I think that's the full version. But I think "So Cold" is a fantastic song. I personally really, really, really enjoy the first two Breaking Benjamin albums. I think when I first heard "Saturate" when I was in high school, in 2000, I graduated in 2005. So in 2002, I would have been, a sophomore or so. When I heard "Saturate," I remember thinking at the time, this album's incredible, because I could hear bits of all the bands that I liked. I could hear bits of Sevendust. I could hear bits of Disturbed. I could hear bits of Powerman 5000, of Rob Zombie, bits of Godsmack, maybe even Marilyn Manson. I could hear those different influences all on that album. And I remember at the time distinctly thinking like, oh, this song sounds more like, like Godsmack. This song sounds more like, Cold or Crossfade or whatever was out at the time. I think Crossfade was maybe later. But I think you understand what I'm saying. And so that album to me was very special. And I really, really enjoy basically that entire album. I think there's a couple songs that maybe drag on a little bit, but for the most part, I really like that whole thing. That whole Polyamorous was their first huge song that got, and I remember that. I remember all the songs. Medicate got to be pretty big, was on the radio a lot. But Sugar, A Shallow Bay. I mean, honestly, this whole album is really fantastic. And then I remember for their second album, I think they produced it, or maybe a couple songs with Billy Corgan. And I remember it being a lot less heavy, although there are a few heavy moments like Breakdown. Oh, interesting. This is "So Cold" remix? What's the remix version of it? So it's got the guitar solo in it. Oh, it's such a good song. Show me how defenseless you really are. Forget It. Interesting song. Breakdown, of course. Breakdown. Interestingly enough, I think this was also around the time, I think 2000, it must have been 2002, 2003, the first Evanescence album came out. And I have the original copies of both Fallen by Evanescence and We Are Not Alone by Breaking Benjamin. Both of those albums do not have the, My Immortal and Rain by Breaking Benjamin. I only have the, here, let's hear the official version. This is just the, yeah. So I only have the CD I have only has this version of the song on it. It does not have the music video version with the band in it. Right, this version. This is what they played on the radio. Rain, rain, go away. Yeah, they're a cool band. I've always loved Benjamin Burnley's vocals. I always have. So then I remember getting Phobia and thinking, oh, I don't feel like I enjoy this album as much. I felt like it felt very derivative of their two previous albums kind of put together. Now, I need to go back and listen to this again. Wow, Diary of Jane has 631 million plays. No way. Hold on, Polyamorous has 38 million. Hold on, what about So Cold? 155 million. And 25 million for Rain? So you're telling me that Phobia is their biggest album? 631 million with Diary of Jane? What? That is shocking to me. That must have been used in a movie or something. Holy crap. And I don't even know what Breath is. Oh yeah, I do know this one. Oh yeah, this was... it is good stuff. The funny thing about this is, like, I knew a lot of kids, specifically girls, that were in my high school that loved Breaking Benjamin. And I remember thinking at the time, like, why do you guys like Breaking Benjamin? They didn't like any heavy bands at all, but there was something about Breaking Benjamin that they absolutely loved. I don't know if it was just like Benjamin Burnley or what, but like, or the music videos or what, I don't know. But like, none of these girls that I'm talking about liked heavy music at all. And trust me, I tried to show everybody all sorts of heavy music at the time, and they never, it's really funny. Like, I know a lot of people who enjoy Breaking Benjamin, who like love them, who don't really like any other music that sounds like them. So they're one of those interesting bands that broke through. But I also feel like people don't take them very seriously, especially not in the heavy music community at all, or anything like that. But anyway, then Dear Agony came out, and I remember thinking at the same time, like, this is just kind of all the same. Like, it's just the same. I need to listen to these albums again now. But I Will Not Bow, 300 Million. Wow, I don't even remember that one. Which one is that one? Yeah. World away. Yeah. And then Dark Before Dawn, which is 2015. Maybe that's their first album. Yeah, that's the first album after they came back. But and I remember listening to this one and just thinking, like, this again, it kind of feels the same as their 3 previous albums. I know there was all this problem with the lawsuit and all that stuff. And so, here, let me get rid of Spotify. You guys don't need to look at that while we're doing this. So anyway, we've got this new song, Awaken. I've heard it's got 4 million plays already. I've heard some good stuff about this. I don't really know what to expect. It's 3.5 minutes long. It was just released on October 16th, it looks like. So I'm half a month late, but that's all right. I don't know. I don't know what I want this to be. Obviously, I'd love it if it was heavy. But I just don't know if they can risk having like a new song, something that like, hey, everybody look at us again. I don't know if they could risk I have not heard a second of this, by the way, at all. It could sound terrible for all I know. It might be an acoustic song like Rain. I have no clue. But I don't know if they would risk having some new thing where they're trying to get everybody's attention be a super heavy song. But it would be really cool if it was. I'm hoping the production's really great. Hopefully they do still have money laying around from all of the money that they did make. I mean, if you have 600 million plays on some of your songs, hopefully you're getting some, 600 million plays. That's probably like $600 in royalties on Spotify, from Spotify. So, Breaking Benjamin's still a huge band. I'm assuming they're out there touring now. So that's great. I'm assuming they can still do like huge shows. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's just give this a listen and see what we think here. I'm really excited for this, but like I said, trepidatious. Don't really know. I guess if you think about it theoretically, their last 3 albums that I've heard of theirs have not impressed me that much. I haven't heard one of their most 5 recent albums, and one of their last album they released, that Aurora album, I don't even consider to be a real album, because it was, I think, re-recordings of most of the songs, and they were re-recordings. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it wasn't anything that interested me, and I was doing other stuff at the time when they released that, So I don't know. We'll just see what this is. If this is leading to a new album, I guess I could be excited for that, but let's just listen to it and see. So this is Awaken by Breaking Benjamin in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Ooh. It's a cool, like, synth part thing. Interesting. Spread out wide background vocals. High falsetto vocals in there. Okay. The background vocals are interesting. They're very wide. There's no high frequencies in them. His lead vocal sounds pretty good. Volume, I think, is all right. I like the simplicity of the riff, you know? You know, that's cool. That was, to me, that seemed like super cliche Breaking Benjamin chorus. Like, you could substitute that for, like, you could cut that out and put a ton of their other choruses in there. So nothing very special. I like the background vocals. All right, what are they going to do for the core bridge here? Ooh. Sounds good. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. That was pretty cool. That was awesome. A little guitar solo-y solo. Nice little stuttery stuff in there. Pretty heavy. Oh, yeah. He has such a unique voice. I've always enjoyed his voice, like I said. It's like he has an accent, but I don't think he has any sort of an accent. Wow. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, very cool. And they want to play Diary of Jane, of course. 600 million plays later, they still want us to listen to that. Okay, so, okay, that pleasantly surprised. It sounded great. Production sounded great, which it should. There's no excuse for a band this big to have bad production, but you never know. You absolutely cannot tell. Sometimes bands just insist on having bad production. Look at Metallica for you know, an example of that. But yeah, so the third time I heard the chorus, I was like, okay, I am digging this. It does feel extremely just like you could plop in any of their choruses that sound like that, which a lot of their choruses do. And I don't know if that's an unfair thing to say, but for some reason with Breaking Benjamin, a lot of their choruses just feel so samey to me. However, the one thing I have to say about that is they've been gone for a little while. It's been, you know, the last thing they released was that re-recordings of their other stuff. This is a new song, very reminiscent of their old stuff. I liked the heavy parts in between the stuff. The verses were nice. The background vocals everything was produced very well. The songwriting, it felt very Breaking Benjamin the entire time. So maybe they wanted to release a song, just like I said, they wanted to release a song that would make people feel nostalgic. And that song definitely had that there for people who are fans of the band. So very interesting. I would hope that this is like, maybe there's like 3 at most other songs just like this on the album, and then the rest of the album is more diverse. Full of other things. You know, I'd love some piano, I'd love some, you know, whatever. There was some neat synth stuff kind of at the beginning. It kind of sounded like a guitar, kind of sounded like a synth. It was probably a synth. You know, I like the heaviness was there. Like every one of their albums has at least one song that's like the heavy song. Maybe we'll get a couple heavy songs based on how heavy they were willing to be in their first single. So that's pretty cool. So we'll see. I don't know. You know, nu metal is coming back, they say, and all this stuff and everything. And a part of me is like super happy with that. Part of me is also like, you know, I don't know. I don't feel like people truly appreciated it at the time, even though it was super popular, but people really scoff at nu metal. And that's how I got into music, you know, when I was in high school. So bands like this were important and special to me. And But like I said, there's something about Breaking Benjamin that a lot of their songs feel very samey to me. And yeah, I don't know. I need to just go back and listen to their albums again. I know their first 2 are fantastic, so I don't need to listen to those to reassure myself of anything. But maybe I was not in the right mindset the first many times I listened to their next two albums or whatever, that Phobia and Dear Agony. But wow, especially Phobia having that many. I need to go listen to that one again. But so I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. If the whole album, I'm all there for it. I'm excited for it. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't want every song on the album to sound like a different version of that song. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's I guess my big worry would be that like every song on the album would sound like a different version of that exact thing we just heard, with maybe like one or two ballads on the album. I don't want that. I want there to be more diversity. You know, it depends how much work they want to do at their live show and all that stuff. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're a big Breaking Benjamin fan, let me know. There's probably lots of information, things that have been released since this. If there's been an album, announced or anything like that, let me know. I'm not aware of any of that stuff. I don't really follow musicians or music like that in terms of like what's coming up. I just kind of try to focus on the here and now. But if I do know that there's a new album coming out, I'll add it to my calendar and look forward to doing a reaction of it. And if it's fantastic, hey, that's great. I always want everything to be fantastic. It's just unfortunately not everything is. So, yeah, those are my thoughts of the new Breaking Benjamin song. Didn't blow me away, but was much better, I guess, than I thought it could have been. So, yeah, everybody let me know what you think of the song in the comments. We have a Discord for the channel where people come to discuss stuff, mostly Metallica and metal music, but we're going to try to get into new things. We definitely want to do the Metallica videos we still have left to do yet this year. I know we're already going to be into November by the time this comes out, but we've still got Symphony of Metallica to do. And I want to do that like a big giant party all one go where we all just hang out and chill and have fun. Maybe try to do it live. I don't know. We'll see. I want to do some experimenting with live stuff. And then also we have the second disc of Garage Inc. to do as well. But I also want to do the Apocalyptica tribute album to Metallica that came out this year. There's a lot of good stuff. We're gonna do Rust in Peace by Megadeth. I want to get into Tool. I've been saying that now for over a year. We're gonna do Tool. I want to do a lot of stuff. I want to do Motorhead, Iron Maiden. I want to do all that stuff. None of which I've heard any at all of. So if any of that sounds interesting, stick around on the channel, join our Discord. We have a lot of cool people there that are constantly having discussions about Metallica and things like that. This channel is slowly growing, and I've been having my battle with cancer this entire year, and it has really set back all my plans I had for the whole year, but we're still uploading videos, still trying to have fun with everybody, and next year looks promising, and I'm hoping that we can grow the channel even more. And if you want to be a part of it, that would be awesome. Let me know what you think of everything in the comments. Let me know what you think of Breaking Benjamin in the comments. And I hope to see you next time.